Hello! We hope you're enjoying your stay at Tashi's place.
To help you make the most of your time in Kamakura, we've prepared this sightseeing guide.
Today we'll introduce you to Egara Tenjinsha Shrine.
Ah, yes, Egara Tenjinsha. It's a really special place, isn't it?
It really is. It's sort of tucked away quietly in one of those unique Kamakura valleys. They call them Yato.
Exactly. And it's not just any shrine. It's actually one of Japan's 3 oldest Tenjin shrines.
Dedicated to Shigawara no Mishizan, right? The god of learning and scholarship.
That's the one. So it's this wonderful mix of intellect, culture, and nature all blending together beautifully.
And that valley setting you mentioned, surrounded by mountains, it gives it a really deep, almost spiritual atmosphere, wouldn't you say?
Definitely. You feel kind of enclosed and peaceful there. So let's talk a bit about its history because it goes way back.
Right. The origins are somewhere in the early 12th century.
Yeah, around that time.
Yeah.
And the legend is pretty dramatic.
Oh, yeah. Tell me more.
Well, the story goes that there was this sudden thunderstorm, apparently on an otherwise clear day.
Okay.
And right in the middle of it, this image of Tenjin, dressed in black robes, is said to have just descended from the sky.
Wow. Straight from the heavens.
That's the legend. So the local people, understandably pretty awestruck, built the shrine right there to, honor this image.
That's quite the founding story. And it didn't stay just a local shrine for long, did it? It became important during the Kamakura shogunate.
Hugely important. This is where it gets really interesting strategically. The first shogun, Minamoto no Yoritomo.
The big guy himself.
Exactly. He specifically worshipped here. And the reason? Its location.
How so?
It was situated to the northeast of his shogunate headquarters. And in Amyodo, that's the yin-yang cosmology.
Mm-hmm.
The northeast was known as the Kimon, the demon gate, basically, an unlucky direction.
Ah, so praying there wasn't just piety, it was like spiritual defense, protecting his capital.
Precisely. It was a very common practice based on those beliefs. Placing a powerful shrine like Egara Tenjinsha, dedicated to a figure like Tenjin, in that direction was meant to act as a guardian, warding off bad luck and evil influences for the shogunate.
Fascinating. So it shows how intertwined belief and, well, government strategy were back then?
Absolutely, and that protective status clearly stuck because the shrine kept its importance through the centuries.
Yeah, the notes mention protection from the Ashikaga, the Hojo, even Toyotomi and the Tokugawa clans later on. Big names.
Right, and there are specific records too, like in the Azuma Kagami, that chronicle of the Kamakura period.
Yes.
It mentions the second shogun, Minamoto no Yori, sending his retainer, Ono Hiramoto, I think, for Michizan's 300th death anniversary service, a major event.
So official recognition from the top.
Definitely. And skip forward a few hundred years.
Yeah.
Toyotomi Hideyoshi, the great unifier, is said to have visited in the late 16th century. And later, Tokugawa Ieyasu, founder of the last shogunate, apparently ordered some buildings to be reconstructed. So you see, it stayed relevant on a national level.
And speaking of buildings, the main hall itself is quite something.
It is. It's actually a national important cultural property.
Yeah.
The current structure is from the early 17th century.
Okay.
But here's the twist. It wasn't originally built for Egara Tenjinsha. It was moved.
Moved? From where?
From the former Wakamiya Hall of Tsurugoka Hachimangu Shrine, which is, the really big main shrine in Kamakura.
No way. So they transported the whole building.
Seems like it. And what's really significant is that even though it was relocated later, the building itself represents the architectural style of the Kamakura period. It's a rare example of that lineage.
So even though it moved, it carries that history. Okay, so that main hall is definitely a highlight for visitors today. What else should people look out for?
Well, inside the shrine, there's this incredible wooden statue called the Angry Tenjin.
Angry Tenjin. Sounds intense.
It is. It was carved back in the Kamakura period, and it's also a national important cultural property. It's got these really sharp arched eyebrows and a very stern look.
Why angry, though?
It's meant to symbolize Michizin's sense of justice and integrity. He was known for being principled, even when it led to his exile. The statue has this really powerful presence.
I can imagine. And the natural setting is a highlight, too, right? The trees.
Oh, absolutely. There's this enormous sacred ginkgo tree. They say it's around 900 years old.
900 years. That's incredible.
It is. And the legend connects it right back to that original event. It supposedly marks the very spot where the Tenjin image landed.
Wow.
And in autumn, when the leaves turn that brilliant gold, it's just breathtaking. You feel the history in that tree.
Any other notable trees?
There's also a lovely 400-year-old camphor tree that adds character year-round. These trees are really part of the shrine's soul.
And for a shrine dedicated to Michizane who loved poetry and nature, plum blossoms must be important.
Absolutely central. Michizane famously loved plum blossoms. There's that well-known poem he wrote to his favorite plum tree when he was exiled.
Asking it to send its fragrance after him.
That's the one. So, in his honor, Egara Tenjinsha has over 100 plum trees planted on the grounds.
Over 100. That must be amazing in spring.
It really is. You get these beautiful early blooming red ones, the kankobai, and these ancient white varieties called kodai ojiku.
Red and white together.
Exactly. That contrast is just stunning, and it really feels like it heralds spring's arrival. A living tribute to Michizane.
Okay, this next highlight is kind of unexpected for an ancient shrine. The connection to manga.
Right, it's such a cool modern layer. It started when the shrine received a brush from a very famous manga artist, Shimizu Kan.
Okay, a respected artist.
Yes, and they created the Kappa Brush Monument to honor it. But here's the really amazing part, the inscription on the back.
Yeah.
It was written by Kawabata Yasunari.
Wait, the Nobel Prize-winning author,
Yeah.
Kawabata, wrote an inscription for a manga brush monument.
Believe it. It's this incredible link between high literature, popular art, and this ancient sacred space.
That's wild, and it didn't stop there.
Nope. Following that, another artist, Yokoyama Ryuichi, and get this, 153 other manga artists contributed to something called the Brush Memorial.
153 artists. What's that like?
It has all these bronze plaques, and many of them show famous manga characters, think Doraemon, Astro Boy,
Okay.
but depicted in kappa form.
Kappa form, like the little water goblins with the dish on their head. Doraemon is a kappa.
Exactly like that. It's wonderfully weird and unique. It ties into this cultural practice of brush memorials, where artists honor their tools. So the shrine has become this place revered by creators, especially in the manga world. It connects Tenjin's scholarly calligraphic spirit right through to modern art.
That is genuinely unique. Okay, so we know what to see. What about the actual experience? What can you do there?
Well, the main thing naturally is praying. Since it's a Tenjin shrine, it's super popular for students wanting success in exams.
Makes sense. Good luck for studies.
And also, for artists or writers looking for a bit of creative inspiration, you can really feel that scholarly, artistic energy there.
Can you get more involved, like in rituals?
Yes, you can actually participate in prayer rituals inside the main sanctuary. And they offer something quite special, proxy prayers.
Proxy prayers.
Yeah, like if a student have an exam but can't get to the shrine can perform a prayer for them on the morning of the exam.
That's incredibly thoughtful service.
It really shows their dedication. But beyond prayers, just walking the grounds is an experience in itself.
Just soaking it in.
Exactly. Strolling through that peaceful valley, thinking about the history, the legends. It's a very calming place.
And you mentioned seeing the wishes of others.
Ah, yes, the iba, those little wooden votive plaques. You'll see rows of them covered in handwritten wishes and messages of thanks.
A little window into people's hopes.
Precisely. Especially around exam time, you see so many focused on academic success. It's quite touching, actually.
And definitely time your visit for the seasons, if you can.
Oh, for sure. Autumn for that golden ginkgo is spectacular. And early spring for the plum blossoms, just an explosion of red and white. Two totally different, but equally beautiful reasons to go.
Sounds like great photo opportunities, too.
Definitely. The historic main hall, those amazing old trees, the plum blossoms when they're out, and of course those quirky manga monuments. Lots of unique shots to capture the different sides of the shrine.
So it really is a place for quiet thought, maybe some hope for exams, connecting with art, and just enjoying the beauty.
It is. It manages to pack in so much history, spirituality, art, nature, all in this one serene valley spot. Whether you're seeking luck, inspiration, or just a beautiful historical place to explore, it really delivers.
And it's easy enough to get to within Kamakura.
Yep, quite accessible. You can find specific directions and transport options in your welcome pack at Toshi's place, or just ask the hotel staff, they'll sort you out.
Perfect. So, Egara Tenjinsha Shrine. More than as an old building, it's a place deeply woven into Japan's history, beliefs, and even its modern pop culture.
What did you think?
We hope the rest of your stay at Toshi's place will be filled with wonderful memories.